Phenomenal gemstone or phenomenon. All of us might not know the phenomenon to a gemologist called optical phenomenon or special effect of inclusion. Phenomenon is a result from the way lights interact with the crystalline structure of the gemstone. This interaction can be in the form of light, scattering, reflection, refraction, diffraction, absorption, and transmission.
One of the most important factors when it comes to gem evaluation. In many gemstones, such as diamond, inclusion affects the clarity of gem, diminishing the value. In some gems, such as star sapphire, the inclusion increases the value of the gem. Fluorescence is a blue sheen phenomenon reflecting on the dome cabochon surface of moonstone. The phenomenon of shimmer comes from the interaction of light with layers of little albite crystals in moonstone. The thickness of layers of this tiny crystal determine the quality of blue shimmers. Thinner the layer, better the blue flash. You can see in the video, moonstone contains thin layers of different feldspars. When each of these layers reflect light, a shimmering effect called adularescence is produced just below surface.
Asterism or star is the result of parallel alignment, fiber, and inclusion. They align along two or more access points. The intersecting access point with perfectly aligned inclusion result in a unique reflection of light in the form of 4 or 6-ray star. As you can see in the video, the asterism is what we call the star inclusions. Buoyancy or cat's eye, like a spool of silk, will result of concentrated from parallel, needed-like inclusion alignment with a single access point. Unlike the asterism got 2 access points, but buoyancy is only 1 access point. Whether they both produce a star and cat's eye depends on the orientation of inclusion of the other mineral within the gemstone. You can see in the video the straight needle of a crystal structure of the stone are perpendicular to the phenomenon. So when the light falls on it, the sharp band can be seen in the best cases. Chatoyant or chrysoberyl cat's eye visually separated the surface into 2 halves. We can see a milk and honey effect when the stone move under lights.
Iridescence is a phenomenon where the surface of material displays several colors as the angle of view change, as you can see in this video. The irregularity of surface and large interstitial space allow lights to pass and reflect back from multiple surface or direction, causing the multicolor visual effect. Combined with interference, the result is dramatic. Labradorescence is kind of iridescent, but it is highly directional because of crystal twinning. We can find it in labradorite gems. Metallic iridescent effect of Schiller with dominant electric blue. Iridescent in metallic hues, called Schiller, especially found in labradorite, blue and green effect are often found.
Color. The exhibit different color within the same stone are called particolored. The division between the color can be absorbed or gradual. Is also a result of changes in the chemical medium in which a crystal grows or preferential absorption of different impurities by different growing crystal phases. We all familiar with ametrine. Ametrine is a variety of quartz that has area of both amethyst and citrine. I also found out that aquamarine and morganite are the same form variety of beryl that has area of aquamarine and morganite can be bicolor as well. Pleochorism. This effect is called pleochorism. Gem cutter oriented pleochoric stone, keeping in mind their most desirable color. It's an important aid for identification of cut stone. As the white light passes through the many gemstones, its color are observed in different direction because of the way of light interact with the internal structure. As a consequence, a stone can appear different color or shade when viewing from different direction. Reason. Black obsidian is a sparkling or glittering effect caused by the reflection of light from tiny disc-like inclusion, typical composed of mica, copper, or hematite. The sheen are often used to describe adventurescence.
Color change. Similar to our eyes, sunlight has very strong blue wavelength, while electric light is richer in red wavelength. In color change, absorption of different color of the spectrum from different light source result in our color change perception. Other color change gem include sapphire, garnet, and zoltanite. A color change gem is rated by the strength of its change and how attractive and distinct its color is in both incandescent and incandescent light. The changes of alexandrite is not 50 to 50 changes. It still depends on the stone. Sometimes it's 40 to 60 in reddish or 60 to 40 in greenish. A gemstone which is completely clean, most of the time they contain foreign matter or some kind of dislocation or irregular in the crystal lattice. Sometimes, only under microscope can these flaws be discovered in the lingo of the trade. One does not speak of flaws, but rather of inclusion, because the term flaw has derogatory meaning that is not justified. Since inclusion are not accidental appearance, but rather are subject to strict conformities with natural law, they can tell a lot about the origin of the gem deposit, and in addition to that, they help in their identification, even though each gemstone types and or with gemstone imitation.
Inclusion of mineral are quite common, such as those of the same material, for instance. Diamond in diamond, or a foreign one zircon in sapphire. Even as small, they provide a constructive picture of formulation of surrounding crystal. They also have been formed from melt at the same time as the host crystal, which surrounded the smallest one because its growth rate was greater. There are also mineral inclusions that are younger than the host crystal. These were formed out of the liquid that entering into the crystal through rocks and formed out of liquid that enter into the crystal through crack and fissure. In some cases, rutile needle in a ruby sapphire inclusion form within the crystal as it cools. Here the other sample of special inclusion
is an organic inclusion. Parts of plants and insects are often preserved in it and bear witness to the life at the time, sometimes as much as 50 to 100 million years ago or more. Garden are emerald inclusion and often described as looking mossy or garden-like. They are sometimes called jardin, which is a French word for garden.
Typically oriented toward the center of nodule, with the fiber branding out of radiating toward the surface.
Silhouette inclusion usually form as fine strand or fiber of metallic gold, silver red, or brown. Gold is mostly in common. Fine flowing strand give rise to alternative name Venus hairstone. Its alignment reflecting light to form an asterism or six-pointed star.
Quartz can see a rainbow inside the gem when you light it up. From ancient time, it has been used as a sacred item because people believe that the rainbow have positive energy. It's a form of lucky symbol. It would give the owner hope and light. This gem called the power of rainbow.
Round and round we go, losing self-control. I keep telling myself, but I don't wanna let you know.